Princess Anne, image, Getty. Last year the Queen's only daughter carried out more official engagements, 387, than any other member of the family. On Tuesday she undertook the most important responsibility of her life, accompanying her mother's coffin from Scotland, where it had been lying in state in Edinburgh's St Giles Cathedral, to Buckingham Palace. Providing the escort on her final journey was an honour bestowed upon the Princess Royal, 72, by her beloved mother with whom she enjoyed a particularly special bond. It was her duty, and it is a concept she knows better than most. Born on August 15, 1950 to then Princess Elizabeth, Anne was just a toddler when her mother became queen and was often left at home while her parents travelled. From a young age, she enjoyed a particularly close bond with Charles, who is just a year older, and understood the burden of obligation and responsibility. It now falls upon her to provide the same stoicism to her elder brother, King Charles III, as he continues their mother's legacy. Anne spent time with the Queen during her final summer at Balmoral Castle and was by her side when she died on Thursday, at 96. Anne has barely flinched during a lifetime of challenges but displayed rare emotion when, during an interview to mark her mother's Platinum Jubilee, said it was extraordinary to claim the Queen did not care about her 4 children, Charles, Anne, Andrew, and Edward. She said, "I simply don't believe there is any evidence whatsoever to suggest she wasn't caring. It just beggars belief. I don't believe any of us for a second thought she didn't care for us in exactly the same way as any other mother did." In a telling insight into her fierce loyalty, Anne said she does not understand why people asked her if she saw the Queen as her mother or monarch, replying, "She's my mother and the Queen." Anne described her mother's selfless dedication to duty and public service as constant and for whom standards did not change. She will carry those words with her as she embarks on the most difficult days of her life. It is little surprise Anne was known as headstrong, independent and something of a tomboy growing up with this that knew her, saying she was always very full of life and also quite naughty. In fact, she was the polar opposite to the more constrained and conservative Charles. Prince Philip, once describing his daughter's obsession with horses, joked, "If it doesn't fart or eat hay, she isn't interested." It is less surprising she does not appear to be as close to her 2 other brothers. Andrew is a decade her junior while Edward is 14 years younger. Despite being left to occupy herself on many occasions, Anne never felt abandoned, and has staunchly defended her mother and her brothers, saying the Queen cared for them exactly the same way as any other mother did. Anne will now perform a central role in the mourning period culminating in Monday's state funeral and dedication. She, along with her siblings and other senior royals, will walk behind the Queen's coffin as it makes its way to Westminster Abbey. And in the same way as she did for her mother after the death of the Duke of Edinburgh, Anne will provide strength and comfort to the new king, who lovingly described the Queen as simply Mummy. Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Anne in 1969, image, Getty. Anne was the first of the Queen's 4 children to divorce. She separated from her husband of 19 years, Captain Mark Phillips, in 1989 and divorced in 1992. She first married in 1973 and the union resulted in 2 children, silver medal-winning Olympic horsewoman Zara Tindall and Peter Phillips, who runs a sports management firm. Within months of her divorce, Anne married Commander, later Vice Admiral, Sir Timothy Lawrence, whom she met while he served as her mother's equerry. Together with Charles, Anne stepped up to take on greater responsibility as the Queen's capacity to fulfill official engagements became more difficult with age. Last year she performed 2 more engagements than her brother, who carried out 385. Her toughness and fortitude, and unique bond with her mother, was forged in being the only female sibling. But it also saw her develop a special relationship with her father too. As the world mourns the death of the Queen, she will need to muster all her strength and resilience. After his death last year, she said, without him life will be completely different. Charles is said to have described his time at the boarding school Gordonstone, noted for its especially rigorous curriculum, as cold it's in kilts. Meanwhile, Anne, who recently became a grandmother for the 5th time, thrived at Benenden School in Kent, leaving with 602 A-levels. Trending Anne, a faultless representative of the royal family for years, was subject to a kidnap attempt in 1974 when her car was stopped on a mall just yards from Buckingham Palace and maniac Ian Ball started firing a pistol. Ball ordered Anne to get out of the car, to which she stubbornly replied, "Not bloody likely." Philip later joked, if the man had succeeded in abducting Anne, she would have given him a hell of a time in captivity. Anne was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize by President Kenneth Kaunda of Zambia in 1990 for her work as president of the charity Save the Children. She won a place at the 1976 Montreal Olympics as part of the British equestrian 3-day eventing team. And in 1987 she showed her light-hearted side when she became the first member of the royal family to appear as a contestant on a television quiz show on A Question of Sport. Last Thursday Anne raced to Balmoral with other senior royals when worried doctors said Her Majesty had been placed under medical supervision. It has been reported only Charles and Anne were able to see their mother before she passed away, something that will strengthen the already impenetrable bond they share.